Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dive into a pretty profound spiritual journey, one laid out in ancient scripture. It's a path that takes us from the simple act of listening all the way to a state of just unshakable faith. You could call it a roadmap from sound to soul. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Think about it. We're bombarded with sounds all day long, right? Notifications, traffic, chatter. But how often do we really truly listen? What we're looking at today is a framework that says true listening isn't passive at all. In fact, it's the very first, very active step toward a massive transformation. All right, so this whole journey kicks off with a concept called sunyai, and it's way more than just something you do with your ears. It's an active, conscious engagement with wisdom. So, suknya is all about absorption. It's this practice of opening yourself up, of making your mind kind of like fertile ground for what's about to be planted. This isn't about just blocking out the world's noise. It's about building the foundation for a whole new way of being. The very first thing that happens with this practice, purification. It's as if this deep, intentional kind of listening has the power to just wash away all that negativity, clearing out the internal clutter from pain and past mistakes. And here's the cool part. Once that space is all cleansed, it doesn't just stay empty. It gets filled with what the scripture calls profound inner wealth. We're talking truth, a deep sense of contentment, and real spiritual wisdom. The things most of us are searching for anyway. Now, if you've ever struggled to quiet your mind, and who hasn't, this is a fascinating idea. Sunai is shown as a direct shortcut to a meditative state. It's saying that through this kind of deep listening, your mind just naturally settles down into focus and clarity. No fight, no struggle. And the benefits just keep coming. The text talks about both internal changes, like diving into an ocean of virtue, and external ones, like gaining honor. It even says this listening can guide those who are lost and make what seems impossible feel totally reachable. It's a complete transformation of your world, inside and out. So here's the crucial point. This profound practice of listening, it's not the end goal. Not at all. It's the cause that leads to a much, much deeper effect, a whole state of being that grows right out of it. This deep listening flows right into our next concept, manai, or faith. But, and this is important, this is not blind faith that's just demanded of you. Nope, this is an intuitive state of knowing, an unwavering conviction that just blossoms naturally from the soil of true listening. And this slide really breaks down the distinction perfectly. Sonyaye is the path. That's the active practice, the work of absorbing wisdom. Manaye is the destination. That's the internal state where you fully embody that wisdom. One is the journey, the other is the arrival. So what's this state of faith actually like? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. The text makes it pretty clear that this experience is so profound, it just pushes the absolute limits of our language and our ability to understand. The scripture is incredibly blunt about this. It basically says that words will fail you if you try to capture the experience of Manet. Any attempt to put it into language will feel like a cheap copy, something you'd later regret because you just couldn't do it justice. And to really drive this home, it points out how limited our own tools for expression are. It says there's no paper, there's no pen that could write it. And not even the most skilled writer who ever lived could record it. It seems some experiences just have to be lived. They can't be documented. But even though it's indescribable, the text does give us these little glimpses into the effects of this state. The faithful find their path in life is clear. It's not blocked. They have this intuitive awareness. They find the door of liberation. And get this, they not only depart with honor themselves, but they actually uplift everyone connected to them, their whole family, their whole community. This state of faith doesn't just change the person. It fundamentally rewires their perception of reality, opening them up to the sheer, mind-blowing vastness of creation itself. When the text tries to quantify the universe, it uses one word again and again. Countless. Countless meditations, countless expressions of love, countless scriptures. The point isn't to actually count them, but to stand in awe of the fact that reality is fundamentally, beautifully immeasurable. And here we get this amazing picture of where all that infinite diversity comes from. The scripture points to a single powerful source, just one word, and from that, an uncountable, complex reality began to flow. One source, countless manifestations. So the ultimate destination of this journey of listening and faith? It points toward a creator,
a reality that is beyond any name we could ever give it, any form we could possibly imagine, and any timeline we could construct. It's simply the eternal and formless one.
This ancient wisdom really leaves us with a powerful final thought. It suggests that maybe the most profound answers we're looking for aren't found by shouting our own questions louder, but in the deep, quiet, and intentional practice of listening for the truth that's already here. So, what truth is waiting for you to simply listen?